Breaking news from a few hours ago, Richard Satchwell is now convicted of his wife's murder and faces life in prison. Okay, welcome back to County Gains News Network. We have another murder, okay, another killing. This is insane. Ireland is going through a spat of murders, guys. Since the beginning of the year, there's been murders constantly. Now, this one is a little bit different because it's quite old, okay, from a few years ago. We have a couple videos to react to here because he actually went on the Late Late Show talking about how he's so upset that he can't find his wife, etc., not knowing that all along the guy actually killed his wife. So absolutely insane. This is a British man, okay, for those who don't know. He is a British man who murdered an Irish woman. Okay, again, attack on Irish people, absolutely sad to see. I mean, insane to see, honestly, guys. You know, we've seen a lot of stabbings, you know, of course there's some Irish born as well, but quite frankly, guys, you know, these stabbings, there's something in the water, and we're going to talk about that after, so stay tuned to the end. We have a video about that as well. Something has changed after the lockdowns, guys. After 2019, after those lockdowns in 2019, something, the vibe, the whole vibe shifted in the world. People are very angry, people are upset. Seems like there's different times now. So like, comment, subscribe, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let's see this Irish Independent, okay, the brainwash media, the news propaganda media has to say about it.
English truck driver Richard Satchwell has been convicted of the murder of his wife Tina. The murder trial of Richard Satchwell at the Central Criminal Court heard shocking evidence of the circumstances of her death over its 5 weeks at hearing. Mr. Satchwell had denied the murder of his 45-year-old Fermoy-born wife at a time unknown over March 19th and 20th, 2017 at their home at number 3 Grattan Street in Youghal in County Cork.
Youghal, okay, in Cork. Now, like I said before, the guy's a white guy, okay, ginger, redhead. And, you know, I make a lot of videos about people stabbing each other, you know, and it's whether it's British or whether it's something Albanian or Roma Gypsy, whatever. You know, it's not just about color or anything like that or religion. It's just nowadays it's just a crazy amount of just random people, no background checks. It's just, you know, a lot of mental health as well in Ireland. A lot of really sick mentally unwell people here, and that's not being called out. You know, people aren't being helped. They're not being put on flipping, which I think if you take antidepressants and stuff, maybe for 1% of the population that's good, but for the vast majority of people, guys, you should just be, you know, cognitive behavior therapy and put in a mental asylum and helped through your disease, through your illness. But really now they're hooking them up to drugs, and it makes them even more crazy. So God knows what this guy was on, okay? Probably a host of drugs, honestly.
Well, had not reported his wife as missing for 4 days before he went to Fermoy Garda Station on March the 24th, 2017. He maintained he had no fears or concerns for his wife's safety, as he said she had left home over difficulties in their relationship. However, at the very time that he had gone to Fermoy Garda Station, his wife's body was in a chest freezer awaiting burial. Mr. Satchwell maintained that his wife died on March the 20th as he defended himself when she attacked him with a large wood chisel. He said he held his arms outstretched to keep her away from him as she repeatedly tried to strike at his head. He said the robe on her dressing gown somehow came up around her neck, and the weight of her entire body was on that rope. She became limp and collapsed in his arms. He said he reacted with panic and shame, and that he did not try to revive her because he realized her body was cold. He placed her body on a sofa and then tried to act as if things were normal, going to Youghal post office to collect his dole, driving to Grange Church.
Absolute. I mean, this is the shit, guys. You know, foreign guy, British guy in Ireland on the dole. Should it be allowed? I mean, guys, if you're not from Ireland, like, you know, we should talk about that. You know, should you be allowed welfare benefits, grants from the government? Should you be allowed all these benefits that Irish people get as a foreigner? I don't know, guys. I don't know. The guy's from England, like, I mean, you know, it's not a race issue or anything, but like, I don't know, if you're not from here, you shouldn't be entitled to shit, guys. You know, if you're from Ireland and stuff like that, you know, maybe, okay, you should be, okay. There's obviously some sort of discretionary advice there. Like, if you're a young man, you should be able to work. Jesus Christ. But this guy obviously, you know, laid the body there. Not a bother on him. You know, it's just insane. This is every day these stories get worse.
To light a candle for his wife, for their dead parrot, and his wife's dead grandmother. He went shopping to Dungarvan in West Waterford before returning to the house in Youghal. Over the next few days, he transferred her body from the sofa to a chest freezer while he excavated a hole underneath the stairs of their home.
What the
He
hell?
then transferred her body from the chest freezer, wrapping it in a blanket and a heavy-grade plastic sheet
Psycho.
before placing her lying face down in the grave he had excavated, covered it over, and then topped it with cement.
Jesus.
Mr. Satchwell then built a
Absolute psychopath.
wall in front of the grave site to create an alcove under the stairs. Gardaí searched the property.
So he leveled it with concrete and then he built up a brick wall in front of it. Man, we're dealing with a real psycho here. That is crazy. This guy really wants to get away with murder, man. And this is the shit we're dealing with, guys. This is the psychopaths. And people think Ireland is safe. I've never heard of Ireland. My whole life I've lived in this country. I've never heard of it being so crazy the last few years. It is absolutely insane what's going on. This is just like crazy shit, man. Built like a flipping memorial for, wow.
In June 2017, but it was not an invasive search, and Miss Satchwell's body was not found. However, Superintendent Anne-Marie Toomey took over the case in 2021, and following a major case review, she sought the opinion of forensic archaeologist Dr. Niamh McCullough.
Oh yeah, women. They're good at searching out stuff. They'll find stuff on your phone. They'll root through your, everything. They'll find shit. If you need to find something, get yourself a woman. Get yourself a woman. She'll find it in 2 seconds.
McCullough recommended, having reviewed all the evidence, that there be an invasive search of the Youghal property.
Yeah.
Further, Dr. McCullough said, having looked at photographs taken from the 2017 search, that the area under the stairwell be examined in detail.
Ooh.
On October the 10th, 2023, Gardaí began a 4-day invasive search of the Youghal property. That search involved ground mapping radar, multiple officers, the Garda Technical Bureau, as well as a cadaver dog, Fern, which was sourced from Northern Ireland.
Huh.
The cadaver dog showed immense interest in the area by the stairwell.
Wow.
And when a construction crew, which had been hired by the Gardaí, dug into the concrete, the plastic was exposed, and the decomposed, skeletonized, and partly mummified body of Miss Satchwell was finally found.
Holy hell. Bro, I haven't heard this story, dude. That was insane. So they hired a dog from Northern Ireland, then they hired a construction crew from Dublin, or from Cork presumably, and they found the body. Holy shit, that was fucking insane, guys. Excuse my language. Wow, that was insane. Okay, now this is where it gets insane. A lot of people don't understand. This is back 7 years ago, 2017, okay? Now, this psychopath actually came on national news pleading with the people, please, come home, baby. When in reality, he had the woman underneath the staircase. Like, holy shit, watch this, guys. I haven't watched any of these videos yet, but I just saw them and was like, this is insane. This is on the Ray Darcy show on, basically the Late Late Show. It's a different show, though. It's not the Late Late Show, but it's the Ray Darcy show, RT1, okay?
I'm sure you're aware that some people are saying that you've had some involvement in the disappearance of Tina. That's tough on you, because you're grieving the loss.
It's very tough. And I took note of what was in the papers and stuff for a start, where I wouldn't go into Fermoy, where I'd spent best part of 30 years, thinking that everybody thought that. But then I go to Fermoy, and I've got people walking up, people who know me, who know us as a couple, they know different. And they're shaking me hand, and in circumstances give me cuddles, and like, oh, don't listen to them.
They're giving him cuddles. What a weird thing to say. What the... Dude, something not right with some people, man.
No, yeah. Even on Tuesday, when I did the extra bit down for prime time, there was a good number of people come up, even though I know it wasn't on prime time, but Barry actually got to meet people that we knew and that knew us. She even got to meet Tina's old hairdresser that did her hair for communion and confirmation and everything.
Why do you think, Richard, that people think...
This guy looks retarded, man. He is cross-eyed as well. I mean, these are just like low IQ people, unfortunately. It's just sad. It's just sad all around, man.
Why do you think, Richard, that people think that you might be involved?
Well, I suppose it's the first thing that comes into people's minds. Oh, it has to be the husband, or it has to be the partner. You know? But everybody who knows us, you know, they know different.
Well, here's the thing, guys, and you know, this is pretty basic psychology. I'm not a massive, you know, psychology, you know, psychiatrist or anything like that. But 99% of the time, you know the killer, or you know the intruder, or you know the burglar, or you know the person. Like in my life, and I know just taken from other people, you've never thought in your life, oh, I want to fight this guy or beat this guy up, or you know, do some harm on this guy, and you didn't know them. It's never like a random person. It's always someone that like screwed you over or did something crazy, and then you flip and attack them. You know, that's how it always is, guys. 99% of murders are like that. You know, it's just because we've been brainwashed by like those American newspapers. Oh, you know, there's a Ted Bundy on every corner and you gotta watch out, you know, because everybody can be a potential serial killer. That's not how life works. Life is you go through life and then someone screws you over and then you retaliate. That's literally how it is. Or vice versa, okay? You screw someone over and then they retaliate. That's literally how it is, guys. That's... Everybody knows that. Anyway, so I don't want to be harping on about that. Now, this is a very interesting published story, guys. This is quite crazy. Now, what this is basically an RT, again, another RT show. And it's from RT1. And it's some random man named petrol station owner Mike thinks public's attitude has shifted since the pandemic. I 100% agree. I think people have lost their shit. Just driving around. I actually witnessed a car crash a few days ago. I was just in traffic, two cars collided, and then you know what happened? The Gardaí kind of lit them up and they moved to the side of the road. This is in my city, and then all of a sudden, people are just taking their phones out, just recording the shit. Some lady just in her car just recording like this. Like there's no sort of friendliness towards anyone anymore. It's like a dog eat dog, very tribal, you know, F you, you know, it's like everyone is like together. If you're not in our group, then screw your group. Let's listen to what this guy has to say, though, because this is actually interesting. Okay, this is very interesting, guys. And this is a petrol station owner. This is a guy that meets people on a regular. Okay, when you own a petrol station, you meet people regularly, all right?
It started, it's always been there, but it was small enough. COVID 2021, from then on, the attitudes changed. People's sense of, I don't know, is it a sense of entitlement or something? Something has changed in Ireland. Something has changed on the ground. They feel they can do whatever they want, say whatever they want, and there's no comeback. And that has to change. Like, we need something as simple as, we don't have enough prison spaces, we're never going to have it. We need payback legislation so that when someone steals, when they're found to have stolen, that is taken from source of income and sent back to the PPS number of the victim of the crime.
Ooh.
So that they get paid back for their goods.
I agree. I'd say your man probably gets robbed en masse. Like, petrol stations get robbed like crazy. Not the petrol, but like any sort of, you know, Mentos and flipping all that shit, you know, Cadbury and all that shit. I don't really eat any of that bullshit. But you know what I mean, guys? People rob like petty items and stuff. So it's actually crazy. I totally think that, and a lot of my friends have said this, you know, so it's not just me, guys. There's been a public shift in attitude. People, he said, people feel like they can say what they want. They can do whatever they want. You know, there's no like repercussions now. It feels like that sort of base of decorum in public has been completely eroded. It feels like people don't give a shit about each other anymore. You know, a little bit, just a little bit. So I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. We got one last video, guys. Okay, just because I want to hate on the sock dems. I love taking a piss on the flipping Social Democrats. This one is a good one. So the Social Democrats recently said that the voting age should be 16. Well, my man Ben Scallon, you know, thrifty is a flippin', you know, legend, a church mouse. What's the phrase? Thrifty is a flippin', as a banker. Okay, let's say, asks them the riveting question. Okay, should 16-year-olds be tried as an adult if they're able to vote, if they're able to do everything else as an adult? Should they be tried if you commit a crime as an adult? In my opinion, absolutely, guys. You know, absolutely. So let's hear what they have to say.
Party last week put forward a piece of legislation to propose lowering the voting age to 16. I'm wondering if, in addition to that, the party would support trying 16-year-olds who commit crimes as adults, or if they don't have the responsibility for that, why should they have the vote?
Great question.
I can take that. No, I think it's a little bit different. I suppose 16-year-olds are paying taxes and stuff. So I suppose if you're paying taxes and contributing to the economy and working, that's kind of the rationale. I suppose it'll be more about the voting bit. Rather than I think what you're describing there is a different edition.
Yeah, I barely understood what she was saying. She sounded British there. So, anyways, we're not going to get into all that. We're not going to dive into that, guys. But so she said it was different because they pay taxes and it's more of an economical thing. Okay. Well, here's the thing, guys. You can't go to war if you're 16. Okay. You can't go fight in the army. I think you can do it if you're 17. Or something like that. I think you can join the army at 18, like the full army. Okay, I think 17 provisionally, but at 18 you can go and fight and die in a war. I mean, we don't have wars like that, but let's just say for 18 you can join the army. That's kind of a good age. 18 is kind of good, guys. 16 a little bit young, to be having the voting age, and they're doing that because these social democrats think that they are going to get all the youth, which the youth, 97% of youth again are left, liberal, same with women, 97% or 80%. And in Ireland, it's great to see a lot of women are actually, are very based, patriots, nationalists, conservative, but a lot of women are more left and liberal leaning. So that's why they try and push these things, because the voting age would hike them up in the polls, okay, would hike them up in the out polls, okay, to get them elected, basically. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully this video isn't too goddamn long. I will be getting my merch soon, so hopefully you appreciate the merch. If you guys want to check it out underneath the video, if you want to support me, help push back against the mainstream as well, hit the join link underneath the video. Become a member today for only €5 a month. Let me know what these videos, if you guys like these videos or not. Let me know where you're watching from, of course. I mean, absolutely crazy. That Richard Satchwell guy is a psychopath, guys. That dude should be locked up. Now, he only got a life sentence, guys. So what does that mean? Okay, so it's only like 7 or 12 years, I think, and then maybe 20 years maximum. So 20 years is not enough for killing somebody, in my personal opinion, And hopefully, he does pass away in jail, because I don't think that guy should be given any sort of leeway. Because when you try and hide a crime, that's the worst. Okay, fair enough. Okay, you accidentally manslaughter, kill someone. Go to the police. Oh, I'm super, I messed up. Let the guy out after 10 years, or whatever, 15 years. Okay, it was an accident. You were fighting, whatever. Okay, but if you intentionally kill somebody and then you hide the body, you hide everything, you hide it for years and years and years, you have to spend taxpayers' money on the Gardaí going to the house and excavating the house and getting the dog from up north and, getting through the wall, getting through the concrete. That's bullshit, guys. That is too much effort, whereas you should have just admitted to the crime. Okay, I love you all. Stay free, and I'll see you all in the next one, guys. Peace.